I'm your host, Megan Mueller, and today we are here with the author of The Hot Zone, Richard Preston. So tell us, your book, The Hot Zone, is a true story, right?
Yes, I tried to portray everything as it happened. I interviewed everyone to get their thoughts and feelings.
So your book is about Ebola and Marburg. What are they?
Well, Marburg and Ebola both come from Africa. These viruses are extremely lethal in humans and monkeys. There are three types of Ebola: Sudan, Zaire, and Reston. Ebola Zaire kills 90% of those infected. As little as 5 virus particles can start an outbreak. These particles are made up of 7 proteins, 3 known and 4 completely unknown.
I think we've got a picture of this virus for our viewers.
Yes, you can see the shepherd's crook, or the eyeball shape, of the Ebola virus.
So what are the symptoms and effects of Marburg and Ebola?
Well, they are both very similar. For Marburg, on the 7th day, you get a headache that won't go away. Then you get a backache. 3 days later, you get a persistent fever and become nauseous. Then, the person becomes passive. Their eyelids droop, their eyeballs are ruby red, and their skin turns yellow. Then, the person's vomit turns black, filled with virus particles. The blood clots everywhere. The intestines die, there are clots in the brain, and the blood will not clot if one gets a cut. The last step is bleeding from every opening. This is called crashing and bleeding out. The virus is trying to get to other victims.
So how is it spread?
They were originally thought to only be spread by contact. In Africa, most of the outbreaks were caused by hospitals sharing needles. But the Reston outbreak and scientist Eugene Johnson proved Ebola can be spread through the air.
Please tell us about the Reston outbreak.
In Reston, Virginia, there was a primate house called the Reston Primate Quarantine Unit. Imported monkeys were quarantined there before shipped to labs across the U.S. On October 4th, 1989, they received 100 wild monkeys from the Philippines. Many of these monkeys died after a month in Reston. A vet at the monkey house sent samples from the infected monkeys to the United States Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases, also known as USAMRIID. Vets and researchers at USAMRIID tested the samples and they were positive for Ebola Zaire. The virus spread to all the monkeys in the house. The Army was given permission to take over the monkey house. A team led by veterinarian Jerry Jacks euthanized the monkeys and decontaminated the whole building.
So that was the end of the outbreak?
No, they bought monkeys from the same supplier after the Army finished. Yet again, they got Ebola and the monkeys died.
Were any humans hurt during this?
No, scientists said that this strain of Ebola did not harm humans.
Thank you very much for joining us today. And that's all we have time for today, so please join us next week. I'm your host, Megan Mueller.